will have its deadline by law to finalize the third stimulus package no later than February 22nd. They will be voting on your third stimulus package bill. The third stimulus check is in there. The $3,600 stimulus check for 5-year-olds and younger, and the $30,000 stimulus check for 17 years and younger. Hey, Tracy Walker, welcome to the family. Everyone, welcome Tracy to this family. But this next week, you may see as early as tomorrow, wow, the third stimulus check bill. In this recording, I'm going to show you the importance of seeing the bill and what items we simply don't know about, what deal provisions and eligibility and application issues we have wondered about for no less than 2 months, and how seeing that bill as a purple hawk, will finally how open the door for us to pounce and know where, when, and how much you're going to get. In this recording, I'm going to go over all the items of the third stimulus package, but I'm also going to go over the clarity of how things can be done as standalone bills as well. So excited for this evening. So excited for everyone that's back in the mix. Welcome back, everyone that has come back home. It's, you had your Valentine's thing you did, and now it's time to give me some love. Just that's a little narcissistic, I know. Earlier today, I made the joke about reality TV stars all today are posting Instagram photos saying, "I'm a reality TV star and give me some love," because it's Valentine's Day. My question is, what are congressional leaders doing for Valentine's Day? My guess is Mitch is giving lots of love to the lobsters. Nancy is giving lots of love to the ice cream. AOC is giving lots of love to the pot bill. Uh, and Chuck is giving lots of love to Broadway openings. How are you, Sarah? Thank you. I received 155 for ABT. Maybe it meant PBET. Congratulations. Sirloin, Javita Late, Blaine66, and all the cast of characters from this channel send you a wonderful Valentine's Day. They just say, hey, they have no scarves for you, so don't be coming asking for some scarves. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. We're almost at 380,000 subscribers. Let's get there. More importantly, make sure you watch all of today's videos. There was something really strange going on with YouTube's upload times. So I apologize that check went up almost 20 minutes late. And of course, that pushed back third stimulus and pushed back this video as well. We'll catch up. So that's good. I'm back with you live at 6 o'clock with Evening's Check. And then I'm back live at 7 o'clock with Purple. Tonight's evening check will have all the big major news across the board and financial news, of course. Third stimulus, second stimulus, and more. Purple will go back into unpaid items from second stimulus and additional the big items of rent, utilities, and food you can get as well. A lot of big recordings tonight, so join me. This has followed by 2 more recordings tonight. Oh, and then at 10 o'clock, of course, is Hazard Pay, which, wow, the last 2 nights has been out of control. Really well watched, so it's a lot of fun. There's people, jumping in there and throwing dollar bills at the essential. It's just a lot of fun. I don't know. It's resonating really well. So I really appreciate it. Tanika, how are you? Tanika. Everyone, welcome Tanika from becoming a Purple Hawk. And finally, if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. The link is at the top of the chat and also in the pinned comment. One of the things I want to go over in this recording, first off the bat, are the deal provisions in the third stimulus package. Let's just go over them broadly, and then we'll go back over them in specifics. And then we'll go over certainly what's missing in there yet. $1,400 stimulus check for individuals, $2,800 stimulus check for married couples, $1,400 stimulus check for dependents, $1,400 stimulus check for minor dependents, $1,400 stimulus check for adult dependents. Income levels are still the same as they've been from prior stimulus checks. Then we go to UI, PUA, FPUC, extended from March to August 31st of 2021. FPUC $400 a week, March to August. Then we have earned income tax credit, child tax credit, and child care tax credit. Now, tax credits generally appear on tax returns and they're credits, they're not checks. But what's really, really wonderful, but also totally bizarre, is that if you are a parent of 7 kids under the age of 5, then you are getting $35,000 in stimulus checks for those 7 kids, up to 35,000. This is the calculation. First, they're each going to get a stimulus check of $1,400 unless the package limits the number of dependent checks, which it may do at like 5 dependents. $1,400 stimulus check. Then each child is going to get $3,600. $3,600 prepaid, not as a tax return line item. It's actually a prepaid check. $3,600 prepaid, $300 a month starting the month of July for 12 months. It's insane. It's an enormous amount of money. Now, what if you have kids that are a little bit older? If your kid's 17 to 6, you will get $3,000 per child, which is $250 a month, starting the month of July. And hence, you can still see an enormous sum of money. Every time I see 35,000, it just makes me scream, says Brenda. Understand, no viewer of this channel, actually, no viewer of any channel has ever gotten a $5,000 stimulus check. And it's just to think that one person gets a $5,000 stimulus check and it's not us and it's a 2-year-old is, yeah. So there you go. The grants. There were supposed to be the following grants. There was supposed to be a business grant for existing businesses to rebound from the economy. There was supposed to be a business loan to go start a new business. But so far, all we have seen, now it may have modified, was a $5,000 grant for EIDL, up to $5 million grant for a restaurant or a taco truck, no joke, and then another round of PPPs and some Broadway musical venue money grants. So not particularly clear if they're going to fix this up or we missed it. Maybe I missed it. We will see those details. Then we have $1,700 a student financial aid per college student. It looks like it's a grant. And then we have $1,400 of paid sick leave per week. Calculate the following. It's up to $1,400, $73,000 annual salary, and excuse me, annual income. And so if you made less, you'll just get less per week. 4 scenarios in which you would be eligible. Your child has to stay home because the school is closed because of COVID, even though the child's fine and you're fine. Or 2, you have COVID. Or 3, your family member has COVID. Or 4, you're fine, but you have to quarantine. So that is those elements. And finally, hazard pay. Hazard pay public sector, hazard pay private sector. Oh, and I forgot the other tax credits. So the other 2 tax credits were child care tax credit. You can deduct 50% of your child care tax credit. For one child, you can get $5,000, which is a lot of money. And then for 2 or more children, you get $8,500, which is a lot of money. And there we go. Now, oh, I forgot rent. Free rent for low income, middle class, homeless people, and people facing homelessness, including domestic violence survivors fleeing their homes, and then also mortgage grant money. So that in just 9 minutes, wow, we're already at 9 minutes, was an total capsule of what's in the third stimulus package. Now you see the spaces where you could drive a U-Haul truck through where I'm hideously vague. You know, I'm sure when I was looking this way or looking that way, and not looking directly into the camera, that you were asking, what about? And the reason why I wasn't answering, or probably not looking at the camera, because there is no answer yet. What about? There is no answer. So, forbearance still has to be paid. It's pushed to the end of the loan. No, incorrect. So that I wanted to answer that question. No, that's incorrect. So forbearance is currently law under executive order, meaning that well, it is correct, but also incorrect. Under the third stimulus package, there is no loan for forbearance. There actually is no loan forbearance in the third stimulus package. It's actually loan. It's actually mortgage money. They're giving you mortgage money to go pay your mortgage. Under the executive orders of President Biden, there is mortgage forbearance, and that allows them, and that does push that towards the end. So that statement is correct as to the executive orders. It's not correct as the third stimulus package because there is no forbearance. It's actually mortgage money. Like, here you go. There you go. Um, Community action is helping everyone with insulation, free installation for people's furnaces. Wonderful. Thank you, Tina, for that very, very helpful information. So now that you're up to date with what's generally in there, let me go through where you can drive a truck, drive a U-Haul truck through because the information is still too vague. First, stimulus checks. Anything really unclear about that? No. They had that pretty much narrowed down. So there's not much room of lack of clarity. It's just the numbers wrong. But there is no lack of clarity for the stimulus check amount. That's the first thing. Second, the FPUC. The FPUC is free. Well, the FPUC. Let me just tell you what President Biden's doing before I go over where people are negotiating against it. The FPUC and PUA and UI all very clear. There's no retroness. It's forward. It picks up where Trump's second stimulus ends and goes forward. The rent aid. The rent aid is exactly the opposite of the HEROES Act. The rent aid for the HEROES Act, LLA, if you apply for EIDL after July and the grants were not available at the time, will you have to reapply again, or will you not get it, or will you get less? You presumably do not have to apply again. You are allegedly in the queue. Remind me a second. I'll get to EIDL in a second in this video. So the rent was supposed to all be run by the federal government. It's not being run in the federal government. The rent in the federal government is not happening this way. So the way they're going to do the rent is they're going to send it out to cities and counties. And so ultimately the federal government guidance, and you apply locally, it is presumed that that's the way they're going to do the mortgage forbearance as well. That the federal government is not going to do anything with sending out money for your mortgage, for your mortgage assistance. The government will send out money. Please don't spam comments. On YouTube, there's a function where you can just limit how many times a person can post the same comment within 10 seconds. So it's just like, I've seen other, where they're talking about cameras and cell phone things. Oh, the hosts get really angry. I'm not like that. I keep it easy breezy, but please don't spam comments. So no, it wasn't you, it was someone else. All right, so the next one that is not particularly clear is hazard pay. The hazard pay, well, not particularly clear. Not at all clear. What do I say? Not particularly clear. It's not at all clear. There's nothing for hazard pay delineated anywhere. We have literally been told peons of information about hazard pay. And so what I want you to know is this is sort of where the Democrats have treated us with hazard pay since May. In May, Nancy Pelosi put hazard pay in the HEROES Act. It was about as delineated and as clear as pie on a table. It was very clear. It was beautifully written. Hazard pay in the HEROES Act. After that, during all the fall negotiations, she took it out. So hazard pay was gone. Hazard pay was gone. There's been enough videos of me making comments about Mitch McConnell never wanting to give you a penny for hazard pay, but also wanting to ensure that you can't sue the employer. So the Republicans never want to give you hazard pay, but the Democrats never wanted to give it to you after the HEROES Act. So are you really going to get the true $10,000 HEROES Act hazard pay? I don't know. I think the hazard pay is going to be the real. Oh my God moment when we see the bill. I think the hazard pay is going to be the real shocker. I don't. It's just going to shock us somehow. I don't know how it's going to shock us, but I just have a sense it's really going to shock us. All right, next, the the paid sick leave. It's very clear. I don't think that the paid sick leave is beautifully clear. I don't think we have to explain it anymore. The only thing I don't know about it is if you're self-employed or if you're an independent contractor, if there's going to give any relief to that. I assume they're not. And I've gotten that questions. That and if it's and people have asked me, is it retroactive? No, I don't think it's going to be retroactive. I don't think Joe Biden knows the word of retroactive. I think it's going to just start from that date and go forward. So if you got COVID today and you're quarantining and you're going to be healthy in a week from now when the bill is signed, I'm sorry. I just sense that's what's going to happen with these people, that they're not going to do it retroactively. Then the $1,700 for college students. I can't wait to see that one. The $1,700 for each college student, it sounds like a mistake. It sounds either like a false promise or it sounds like a mistake. Are you really? Here we go again. Let me tell you how everyone else is getting cheated. A college student is going to get a $1,700 stimulus check and a $1,400 stimulus check, and we're not, and everyone else is getting $1,400. Ah, let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. The dad who has a single dad who has a kid in college. The kid in college is going to get $1,700 plus $1,400, but the dad's just going to get $1,400. Uh, yeah, I'm sure the dad's totally ecstatic about that. Now, I don't know, so I'm waiting. I'm anxious to see that. I have a feeling it's not going to be as represented. I have a feeling it's just not going to be as represented. I have a feeling it's going to be a loan. I have a feeling it's not going to be a grant. Are we getting the stimulus soon? Yes. So the bill will pass the Senate, excuse me, the House, no later than February 22nd, and then land in the Senate thereafter. I'm going back to school. There you go. You have two choices. This channel, go back to school or open a hot dog stand. I think opening a hot dog stand is the most lucrative option of the stimulus package. Um, and there you are. There you are, because we have still yet seen the details of these items. What I want you to understand as a Purple Hawk, that everything that I've gone over with you, with the exception of the checks, is not automatic. The checks for the child tax credit are automatic, and the stimulus checks are automatic. Everything else is not automatic. So you have to be ready to pounce. If you're a newer viewer, like in the last 4 months, um, I recorded enough videos where states went live with similar programs like Hazard Pay. They went live on a Monday, and by a Thursday, the program was all eaten up alive. There was no more money left. So these things will really go away very quickly. You have to pounce like a hawk. Hawk, hawk. Alma just said. That's absolutely true. Let me go to that EIDL grant question. So this is this is a first stimulus check question. If you applied for the EIDL grant in 2020, this is a first stimulus check question. Will you get the remainder $10,000 EIDL grant? Yes. So what they're doing now is they are sending emails to people in low-income communities who applied for the EIDL grant in 2020 and never got the remainder of the $10,000 grant or got any of it. And I have seen people who are not, this is really good news, not in low income based communities and are getting that email now as well in the last few days. So they are working their ways through low income and then non low income. So this is huge. These are all 2020 people. So the viewer that asked about July, you would be a little bit later on the food chain. So they would do they would do February, March people all the way to about May when it stopped. And then I think it stopped in May and then it came back around July. So they're going to do all that group first, and then they're going to get to the July to I think it was live for about 4 days. I'm not kidding. The ideal grant was live for about 4 days in July. And those are the people they'll get to after that. They have enough money for it. There is no. It is. They have been under fire for their inability to get things done quickly lately. And there we are at the 20-minute mark. Wow, is that 20 minutes? Yeah, let me give you a big update where we are. And then I'm going to answer some of your 2000 questions and some of your questions as well. Thank you for joining me on Chuck. A big update across the board this afternoon as the third stimulus package bill may be debuted to us in paper form as early as tomorrow. Why? Because the bill is done. The bill was written by the president, then sent to the House, marked up, modified, and the House subcommittees are done. All that Nancy Pelosi's staff has to do is put the different parts together in one particular document. It's not a particularly hard task. But last time they did this, their computer printers broke down. No jokes. I don't know. They're going to have simple problems like that again. And once they do that, it's important for you and I to watch and go through that document because, Lord, that document will show us the whole universe of the questions we have wondered. What the chuck? Absolutely, says Cully. Every question you've wondered. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. It's free to subscribe. Please subscribe. We're almost at 380,000 subscribers. Welcome back. If you've gone away for a little bit, I'm glad to have you back in the mix. If you're distracted because of the impeachment, welcome back. Stimulus is front page news once again by the end of today. The impeachment stories are falling off of broadcast and print media. They were at the top of the header page and the lead stories. They're falling off. Stimulus is clearly the number one story going into Tuesday's opening of Wall Street. Monday is a financial holiday. Then the next thing is that as soon as we see the bill provisions, you'll be able to pounce. And I want you to know that there's no less than 5 items that every viewer qualifies for in this channel. Thank you, Angel, for the nice comments. You'll be able to qualify for rent, utilities, food, and internet to start. But you may also qualify for items for businesses, for parents, for low income, and other items. So I want you to be able to know what they are because they're diminishing funds. Finally, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Make sure you like this video. 1,100 people in the room, which is great, but only 500 likes. Let's get some more likes up. Let me answer some of your 2,000 questions and comments from yesterday's recording, and then I'll answer some of your questions. Debbie, crickets, SSI, SSDI, vets and railroad benefits. Okay, so I wanted to go over that. The big question is where will other things go, or where can those other things go? And the big issue is, will they come in when the House makes a modification, or will they come in when the Senate makes a modification, or will they just be a separate bill? In the case of SSI, SSDI, Social Security and Railroad benefits, it has three items: the $200 on top of your existing benefits, and the upgrade lifetime up to 20%, and the new benchmark of CPIE for your benefits annually, different than COLA. Where could those things land? Well, Elizabeth Warren could certainly in the Senate make a modification to the bill to slide it in there, or she could do a standalone bill. That standalone bill could be introduced to the Senate. She did a standalone bill 2 Fridays ago, and that standalone bill was $50,000 student loan debt forgiveness. So ultimately, there's 2 avenues. Ironically, when she did the standalone bill for student loan forgiveness of $50,000, she and Chuck Schumer also talked about an executive order for it. So it's not uncommon for congressional leaders to do things with 2 different paths. So if you are among the people that are tweeting her, calling her office, certainly suggest those 2 paths. Suggest putting in the bill the $1.9 trillion stimulus package when it lands in the Senate, and also consider doing it as a bill by itself. Nancy, Put them all out on the cold and see how they get along. Reese S. It's called selective memories. Harold Rose. Um, Biden needs to get that $200 a month from SSI, SSDI, VA, and RB benefits, and that 20% lifetime increase, and that will help the economy. It will help the economy. Susan West. Biden promised to help as soon as he got in there, and we're struggling. Even worse, some are losing their homes, lights being cut off. Where is he at? Just saying things to be elected, I guess. So, what Susan West is going at is what I read from in yesterday's Chuck broadcast. In yesterday's Chuck broadcast, I read from the president's January summary of what is in his third stimulus package. And the opening line of the of the summary was that he's going to get immediate and urgent economic relief out to millions of Americans. He said that the relief will come urgent and immediate, and he said other things, but the words urgent and immediate have not happened, and that's why people are having a big problem among other issues. Donna, happy Valentine's Day. Oh, happy Valentine's Day, Donna, and happy Valentine's Day everyone else that helps out with the program. Everyone stay safe and healthy and warm. Well, thank you. You too, Donna. Debbie Turner, please address SSI and railroad benefits. You have not been covering it for a little while. Okay, I'm going to say this once again. This sort of comment is slightly, well, first of all, it's inaccurate. Second, it's also rude. I cover it every single day on at least 1 to 3 programs. And the update is that there is no update. The update is that they're silent. And there's always someone that says, please repeat it again. I'm repeating again. Joe Biden has gone silent. Someone says, can you give me another update? The update is that Joe Biden has gone silent. And ultimately, people think as though it is as though I'm in the White House and that I have some mechanism to get an update. No, he's literally gone silent. And ultimately, this channel has had your wishes in spirit to push bigger than any other place. And ultimately, the push of 1,000 people in the room works. The push of 1,000 people in the room works. And that saying, tell me when I'm getting my $200 check per month, does not work. Every time that I see a person in the comment that says, tell me when I'm getting that $200 check a month in the comments, worries me, especially if it's a subscriber, because it's generally not a subscriber, because somehow they have been told it's guaranteed. It is not guaranteed. In fact, it's not in the bill. In fact, no one has even talked about it. So the spirit of this channel is to push when things are not going on track. And for someone to say I don't cover it, I was just like, I think I've covered it 3 times already today. Bonnie, all these politicians, and that was a very bad word, I can't read it. Lupe, for more unemployment for the 2019 taxes, is that only for the adjusted gross income or for the total income? Oh, great question. I just use it as just I would do it as almost gross revenue. Janini, oh, Lord, Paul, thank you for joining the family. Janine, welcome to the family. Boy, I really butchered that one. Janine, welcome to the family. Thank you for becoming a Purple Hawk. Thank you, and everyone welcome Janine to the family. Lupe, if you're clearly way over $18,000, definitely do it. Always when I'm giving you these ranges, these applications, it's an application. Remember what Lupe is referring to is how to increase your unemployment benefits. If you made over $18,000 2019 earnings, you should be doing this. And if you made over $30,000, you should definitely be doing it. She's asking me, what is the $18,000 referring to? I'm referring to your earnings. But, let's say you had $19,000 in earnings, but you had a $30,000 tax deduction, then you should still do it, because obviously I'm not concerned about the tax deduction. I'm more focused on the gross. they're looking at how much revenue you brought in as an employee or an independent contractor. I could use gross rev, but I'm not. So $18,000, you could raise your benefits if you've been unemployed for 20 weeks about $50 a week, which is about $1,500 in your account right now. And if you've been unemployed for 20 weeks and you made 25,000 to $30,000, 2019, you could raise your benefits about $100 a week, about $3,000 right in your account right now. And if you made over $30,000, you'll be able to raise your benefits about $300 a week, which would be about $10,000 in your account right now. I've had several viewers get this money. All you do is you write your unemployment department, say, hi, here's my tax return. Can you see if I can get some more money? That's basically all you're saying. Can you see if I can get some more money? But don't say it that way. Say, hi, can you see if I qualify for some additional money? Just make it more professional sounding. Thank you, God bless. And you send it off. And then you keep on calling them. You don't just send it and then don't call them because they're sometimes slow. Laura, lots of gators in the swamp. Renee Johnson. I tell everyone about you because you care about everyone the same way, and you always have something for everybody. So very trusting. Thank you for all you do. God bless you. I appreciate that, Renee. Um, that has been um, one of my biggest focuses is always telling viewers that there are very different viewers that watch just me, and that if something is not you, don't presume it's not someone else. Let me give you an example. I may have a viewer who is a single mom who drives Uber and Lyft to pay for to put money on the put food on the table for her two sons. But I may also have a college student. Hey, Rhonda, how are you? Thank you for coming to Purple Hawk. Everyone, welcome Rhonda to the room. I may also have a college student who does Uber and Lyft, and it does his own tax returns, but doesn't have to provide for anyone else. And he does Uber and Lyft, and they may be financially the same individual when we're looking at grants and looking at things, but their need for money may be totally different. And so ultimately, we're always respectful of everyone else. Mary Cyrus, happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. Diane, maybe he has a different time than we do. There you go. At the 32-minute mark of 1,100 people were in the room and 600 likes. At this point, let me answer some of your incredible questions and comments that you may have in the room about stimulus. Ask me anything you have about first stimulus, second stimulus, or third stimulus. The non-filer filing tool is not open. It is not. Alicia, wow, welcome, Purple Power. What happened, Alicia? She's, you already remember. What happened with that? That's so confusing. Uh, the the important thing to know is that the non-filer filing has not been live for a very long time, and I had warned viewers in the summer about that. But drop any questions or comments you have on the screen. Do you know how much mortgage assistance we have? No. I get that question a lot. Do you know how much mortgage assistance? No. People ask me, do you think it's going to be federally backed mortgages only? I don't think so. That wouldn't make sense. I mean, they're not giving just rent for federal housing. Um, but no, I do not know anything about it. It may sort of track their mindset for how they're doing uh, rent, which is you have to be behind on it. So you may not get, maybe you won't get mortgage assistance if you're not behind on the mortgage. Anywhere on property taxes? No, Janet. No one, whether it's state, counties, or federal, have ever given help for mortgage for property taxes since this pandemic started. I had a big cow about that earlier on when this channel launched. I don't think it's fair. I think there should have been mortgage. I think there should have been property tax moratoriums and things like that. Um, George, I don't understand the whole tax credit, LLA, with the monthly payment. In addition to that, we will return to the $2,000 tax credit when we file the 2020 tax return, or what? George, so he has a great question. So let me explain. First, the child tax credit is currently law. Two, it's currently law for the tax return for you are about to file for 2020. Remember, the tax return you're about to put in the mail in the next few weeks, in this year concerns last year, 2020. You can have a tax credit for last year, 2020, child tax credit. Um, but the tax credit that they're doing, the child tax credit they're doing on the third stimulus package, is for the 2021 child tax credit. To which my question was initially, wait a second, you don't get the money until next year. You get it when you file the tax return next year. They said, no, we're going to give you an advance. We're going to have the IRS pay you in advance for a child tax credit for next year. It sounds really weird, but that's what they're doing. Any grants for home repairs? No. There are no grants that are particularly specific. I've had viewers ask me that question, like car repairs or housing repairs. Now, you may want to reach out to the volunteers to see if there's just sort of general grants. There sometimes are sort of general grants. Do you think there'll be another stimulus this summer? Yes, of course, absolutely. There will be another stimulus. I believe there'll be another stimulus check after this one. And there will be another stimulus package. We already know that. It's been confirmed many, many times. But will there be another one in addition to that? It depends on how this economy goes. The way this economy is looking, I think it's not going to be good. So I think you may see two more stimulus checks, is my opinion of the situation, because of unemployment numbers. These unemployment numbers are just not improving. It's one thing to say that that vaccination numbers have improved, but if unemployment numbers is not improving, then no. Have you ever heard of government department paying for funerals for COVID-19 victims? I have gotten some questions about funeral grants for COVID, and yes, they do exist. I do not know if they're state or federal or private. They do exist. There are grants for funeral expenses for COVID, but people have been asking me lately if there are grants for survivors of COVID, and I don't know about that as well. But there are grants. I don't know if they're federal, but they may be state for funeral expenses because of COVID. Someone else said they do exist. I saw AOC tweet something like that. Oh, wonderful. That's great. Let me look at the Instagram room. Why do they have to wait to the 22nd to vote? Because they put it in the bill that way. Now, I'm not particularly clear why they chose the 22nd as a date, but they put the 22nd as a date. That doesn't mean they have to wait till the 22nd. It means that's the last day. I don't know if I made that clear. It doesn't mean that's the last day they can do it. It's just that that's the date they chose. And there we are at the 38-minute mark. Let me give you the big update where we are tonight. This is Chuck, and tonight I'll be back with you at 6 o'clock and then at 7 o'clock. The 6 o'clock show will go over more details of what's happening across the board financial markets and your stimulus, more details. And then at 7 o'clock, I'll be back with some more insight as to third stimulus package items and bringing back into the mix purple for state and local rent assistance. It's a show that helped a lot of people, and I'm bringing it back in the mix. Rent help, utilities help, and more. So if you have questions about rent and utilities is more, that's the second live show coming up tonight. 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, two shows back to back. Then I'm here at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time with Hazard Pay, which is a taped live chat show. Those are all three shows are Pacific Standard Time. If you're East Coast, just add 3 hours to that. That's 6, 7, and 10. On the East Coast, it's 9, 10, and 1 a.m. Meantime, the big news as you sit here this evening is that you potentially could see the third stimulus package bill as early as tomorrow. But chatter is starting to build about this $35,000 potential stimulus check for young children, as a child tax credit will be paid as an advance on the third stimulus package to some children, to children that are already getting a $1,400 stimulus check. And it causes a realm of confusion. It's already causing a realm of debate. But ultimately, my focus is to get you as much money as I can. So make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. And if you're not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. And as this channel approaches 99, as this channel is now at 99 million views, help ensure that it gets to 100 million views in the next few days. Our focus is to break every record ever seen on YouTube, for no channel has ever before reached 100 million views in 9 months. That's our focus. And now tonight we're at 99 million. So keep on watching. If you did not watch Check on afternoons or Third Stimulus right before this, there were 2 tape shows. Watch them as well. I'll be back with you shortly on Evenings LA. Have a great evening.